We all live on the internet nowadays. For many of us, it's the first thing we look at in the morning and the last thing we check before we go to sleep. According to the BBC, an incredible 170 billion emails will be sent today. But the internet has become far more than a simple communication tool. So here at Mother, we thought it would be interesting to run a little experiment. To take 5 digital natives and sever their connection to the internet for a week. No emails, no browsing, no social networks, no internet. Our carefully chosen guinea pigs are all big internet users.
Before I get out of bed, I read The Guardian online, I check the weather, I check Instagram, Facebook, my email, my calendar for that day, my Gmail, I read The Atlantic, and then I get in the shower.
I definitely use the internet much more than I want to. I think a definition of addiction is trying to control your use and not being able to.
My personality and me as a person just developed, boom, thanks to the internet.
Most of my social life is on any social network. I'll find it really hard not being able to see what other people are doing and sharing things, and I kind of feel like there's something missing to my day.
To keep a professional eye on the progress throughout the week and help us analyse our findings, we've enlisted the help of psychologist and addiction specialist Sarah Hiragoyen.
Some people are really curious and really can't get enough of information and they need it. That's kind of a process addiction. Other people like gaming or like porn, they're actually getting a dopamine hit.
To find out about this dopamine stuff, we went to ask an expert.
Dopamine, the chemical, has a specific receptor. The reason that you become addicted to it is because you've got a massive increase in dopamine sort of flashed around your system, right? So everything is going, this thing, whatever you just did, right? I don't know what it is, but whatever just happened, there's a huge amount of dopamine here. This is exactly what you need to do. So becoming addicted to something is using your learning system and stimulating the dopamine-producing section more.
I hope I'll feel more relaxed, that I'll feel like I've got lots of time to do things, but I think I'll probably feel like I've been in a cave for a week. In one way I know I'm going to be more stressed because I'm like a control freak. You need to know everything, you need to know where to be, you need to know what to do.
I'm fucked, basically.
It's the second day of internet cold turkey and most of our participants seem to be doing okay.
I actually do think now differently to how I did yesterday. I'm enjoying my own privacy. I'm enjoying not looking at what 3,000 people are doing.
I definitely feel liberated. I don't know whether I'd say I feel liberated from the internet or whether it's just the constant stress of email. But I thought I would miss social media more than I do, when I don't feel disconnected from the world. I feel like I'm having better conversations with clients and with colleagues because my attention is 100% on everything that I'm doing. I've never felt that I could be quite so mindful or that I could think so well.
I think so far possibly feel a bit angsty, but it's kind of couched in the fact that I know just hang on until the end of the week.
I find it really, really hard to not be online at work because I work with social media and it's my job to be online.
Last night actually she got home, she had loads of energy and because she isn't automatically sitting down on the sofa going, as soon as she walked through the door, she was actually jumping around a bit.
This could be 2 days of me being like blissfully ignorant and then tomorrow morning I could really freak out. We'll see.
It's day 3 and Sophia's getting all philosophical.
I think part of every experience is like experiencing it almost with other people, like other people's reactions towards what you're doing. And when you don't get that, it feels like weird. It feels like you're not doing whatever you are.
Seeing as she was in a pensive mood, we decided to set her the task of writing her first ever letter to her best friend.
It feels weird because like usually I wouldn't write like that much stuff and I usually like already have got my response. I guess I like express a lot more feeling into what I say, whereas usually I wouldn't really think about it much. I'll just say what comes to my head first. She knows that I'll find it hard like not being able to get that instant reply because I always get really annoyed at her when she doesn't reply like quickly.
I find that really interesting because it highlights how much is lost in the immediate BBMs, the text messages. They pass information, you communicate, but what level? That's what concerns me. What level? It feels like a really superficial level.
Meanwhile, Maria, separated from her internet audience, has gone for lunch with her real-life friend. Time off has got her thinking about how she uses the internet.
I haven't been taking any selfies or photos of what I'm wearing, and obviously it's kind of silly, the whole thing, like, I'm taking photos, uploading on Instagram, and then I'm counting the likes. Get really affected by the social stuff that is going on. If someone gives you a bad comment and you're just like, what is this person thinking about me? Or if you get a good comment from a person that you don't really know and you're just like, oh, how did this person know me? And then it's just all these thoughts going on, everything, and right now it's just like relaxed.
James has had an epiphany.
I distract myself with the internet when I've got to complete a task. Even if I don't use the internet, I still don't do the task. Is that interfering? That's my phone going. I've had quite a lot of texts, I've noticed. I think what it is I'm just aware that I'm powerless over it. So I don't think I struggle in moderation. I've gone through a process of dealing with real physical addiction, and the phrase I used was powerless. If you understand that you're powerless over something, whether it's food or gambling or drink or drugs or sex or whatever, that's the start. When you recognise you've basically got a problem, and that's the start of being able to deal with it. And if you realise that you use the internet more than you want to, that implies that the internet is in charge.
I'm really, really glad I did this. Really, really glad I did this. I certainly am feeling that real world interaction and a real world like means so much more. I had dinner with my brother last night, and he said to me that he's always thought I check my phone too much, and that in the 5.5 years that I've worked at Mother, he thinks it's the first time he's met me for dinner or drinks or anything, after work, before work, or on the weekend, where I haven't checked my phone, which made me feel like I'm a really bad sister. This evening is the first time that I felt apprehensive about not having the internet. I haven't really been worried about it all week, and now I'm not really sure how I'm going to respond, because tonight is the private view of a campaign I've spent months working on.
Everyone's really buzzing and everyone's talking about it, but everyone's taking pictures on their phones and posting them on Instagram, and I can't do it. But actually, maybe I've had more conversations with people. I don't know. I really am like, oh, look what everyone's doing. They're all putting on social media, and I can't. Amazing. But I can't tell anyone apart from you and everyone I speak to that I'm really happy and really proud.
Day 4, and midway through Dirty Harry, James has gone batshit mental on Twitter withdrawal and ordered an axe. Logging is the new blogging.
James might be finding it a bit frustrating, but his son is seeing the benefits.
Before, he wasn't as nice to be around, but he was nice to be around, but he's nicer to be around now, because he doesn't go on Twitter as much or anything.
Sometimes I feel like smashing my phone and the rest of it up. Chucking it in the fire.
Unfortunately, I'm very ashamed to admit, I did a Google Map search and it was totally pointless. Actually, if I hadn't cheated, which I really regret, it would have been less stressful. You just have to accept that you've got to get the next train. There's nothing else you can do.
Sophie's missing Instagram.
I'm struggling, but I'm doing all right. I saw the nicest sky, and I was on the train, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, look at this!" So, like, people I didn't even know were taking pictures of it. I just want to take a picture of it, and I did. And I was like, "Oh, I can't post that anywhere. Like, I just want to show someone." Like.
Last night was the only time this week that I've really, really missed the internet. I found it so hard to watch people taking pictures, tweeting. I couldn't be part of the conversation. I felt like isolated from it. And I came in this morning and one of my friends here had made me a present. And she made me this, which is like analog Twitter and Instagram. Instagram on paper. Comments, positive, people liking it. Look at all the people. And this was so much better than me having the internet last night. Because this feels real, and this came with loads of thought.
And tonight I've been out on events, as I normally do on Thursdays. I actually have a lot of friends that I bet are just around the corner, but they don't know where I am, because we constantly keep in touch. We're like, oh, you're here now, I'm going to come soon. The whole project have made me realise and have a think about who's my friend and not. I have a huge amount of friends on Facebook, but then when it comes to real personal stuff, it's just like, okay, I don't know who's my real friend.
It's the end of our experiment, and our participants regroup at Mother to have a chat with Sarah.
It's been transformative for me. The most panicked I've felt all week is now thinking about going back online. So I think I think my behaviour will be totally different. I feel like I might be re-embracing the analogue rather than the digital. When I get my phone back and when we get back on the internet, I'm definitely not going to check work emails outside of work. I've got a list of kind of things that we can do to help people not be so beholden to their phones. Like, just because it's had such a positive impact on the way I work and the way I feel. 1 week it's been so good that I think it would be crazy to not try and share that experience and make everybody feel a wee bit better.
I felt very similar to Katie. I really, really liked it. And I felt like I'd been unchained from a whole load of noise. It made me think that actually social media is just like having the worst adverts on television just blaring at you constantly.
Usually where I'm so involved in like everything, I kind of get wrapped up and then kind of my problems get pushed aside, if that makes sense. I miss being able to like connect with a lot of people, but I don't miss having to deal with everything.
How will you push your foot on the brake? How are you going to do that?
I'm not really very sure.
I have really mixed feelings because for me, I always see internet as it's like a whole wide world. Like, it's all the opportunities are there. You can meet whoever you want to.
I think Maria totally summed up what we get out of it there. Those of us that work is it's the world, and without it, you're the Amish. My problem is I can't differentiate between being constructive and proactive and good things and just utter fucking junk. I can't separate the two. I feel like I've wasted a significant part of the last decade online. Maybe it's better just not to...